Hey, Chloe in the house here. Hello, Sunshine Fam. How are you doing today? So today, I want to discuss some things that have been weighing heavy on my heart. And I want to inform you on things that I've come up with in the past that have worked for me that maybe you guys have never thought about doing, and maybe will inspire you to do some of these things. As we grow up in school and stuff like that, from elementary all the way through high school and even through college, we're always trying to be cool. We're trying to fit in. We want to be accepted. And they talk a lot about things that kids go through. But then it kind of fades away when you get to be an adult. Young adults, yeah, they still kind of talk about it a little bit, but they don't really, they meaning society, doesn't really talk a lot about what older adults go through until you're like a senior citizen, and then it's considered like elder abuse or neglect or stuff like that. And what happens to the in-between parts of that those people never get talked about? Well, just because you graduate high school or you graduate college and life happens doesn't mean that the problems that you've had growing up go away. In fact, some of it may follow you for your entire life. Some of it you might get over. A lot of it you probably do get over, but it never completely goes away, because the brain and the heart of a person is an amazing tool that God gave us, but it can also be detrimental to your health. The heart is the one muscle in your body that has to continually work to keep you alive. It pumps blood through your body. It provides breath for you, even though most of that is in your lungs. But your heart is basically what keeps you alive, because if you think about it, people can be brain dead, but they can still be alive. They call themselves, checked out or a vegetable, whatever, which is kind of an insult to vegetables, I guess. But if you think about it, your heart is really what the part of your body that keeps you alive. Now, you can be officially declared dead and your heart can still continue beating for several minutes, which means, are you really still alive? Or maybe the heart can stop beating, but they can bring you back to life. But while the heart is the strongest muscle in your body, it's also the most vulnerable. Meaning that when it breaks, it feels like your life is over. And it can, you can have a broken heart from many different things. The number one, in my opinion, is relationships. Whether it be family, friends, a loved one, pets, things that happen in the world that you don't expect, that you don't have any control over, but you still, depending on how you are raised, you still feel compassionate about it. Now, I'm not saying that, well, yeah, I guess I kind of am. I've kind of been dealing with a broken heart for a good month or two. over a relationship that I thought was rock solid, and when this person said something horrible to someone else about me, that really, really hurt. And it will continue to hurt me for the rest of my life, because this is where the brain comes in. Your brain is a file cabinet. Now, you got papers up there, you got files in there, you can shut the drawers, open the drawers, whatever, just like a regular file cabinet. And some things you can file away in the back of the drawer and forget about it, and then something will trigger that and bring that forward, and all of a sudden the drawer opens up and the folder comes out and the papers get scattered everywhere, reminding you of a memory that happened. And in this instance, unless I end up getting Alzheimer's or a lobotomy, I will remember these hurtful words that were said about me for the rest of my life by somebody that I thought I could trust, somebody that I helped tremendously for the past 36 years. But I don't really want to get into that too much. What I do want to get into is, in my life, I have always been told what to do. And I know we're all like that. When you're a child, you're told how to think, how to act, how to talk, how to look at the world. We're told to do chores. Some of us get an allowance for chores to a certain age. Then when you go and you get a job, you're told by your boss what you have to do. And you have to abide by that, or you don't have that job anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't lost my job or anything like that. I'm not in fear of losing my job that I know of. But after a while, don't you just get sick of being told what to do? And then you conform to that so much that you feel you have to live your life that way. Well, I'm kind of at that precipice. And like I said at the beginning, when you're in school, you feel like you have to fit in. So you do what you have to do to fit in with this crowd or that crowd, and you look at this person and, oh, they've got really nice clothes and they've got a really nice life, but do you really know their backstory? Probably not, unless they share it with you. But then even at that, I think all of us would withhold certain skeletons in our closet that we never want to take out. But at this point, I think you know pretty much all my skeletons in my closet from my recent videos this year about me. But what does this have to do with doing things that you may not have thought of? Well, it kind of ties in together with what I really want to talk about, which is why I titled this video the way that I did. I don't know how this plan was conceived, but it came to my mind. It was my own, in my opinion, it was my own idea. Nobody fed it to me. And so I call it the hour plan. Your life gets so chaotic that you're working, you feel like you have to meet with friends when they suggest that you meet with them. You feel like you have to be there for other people. You want other people to be there for you. And then they get too busy, and then you feel like nobody cares. And sometimes that spills over into your home life. And maybe you neglect things in your home. because you're so busy doing things for other people that you don't stop to do things for yourself. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make in this video. So today I'm going to talk about the hour plan and my hour plan. I have so much stuff going on in my life that I need to stop and look around my apartment and go, okay, I've got boxes everywhere of stuff that I want to sell. I've taken in stuff that belonged to my parents when they moved from their house into the apartment they're in right now. Not all of it. There's no way I could have taken all of it. But I thought I could sell it for them and then give them the money that I'd make from it. Not a lot of money, but you never know. I mean, they've got some nice pictures and stuff like that, paintings and that kind of thing. That might be worth a lot of money. But I don't feel that those items belong to me. So I have started selling some of their stuff, and I've given them a little bit of the money that I've made from that. Not that I've kept any of it, I'm just saying I haven't made a lot of money selling some of the stuff that they had, like, you know, cups and dishes and kitchen utensils and books and, you know, that kind of thing. Knickknacks, that kind of thing. But I also have a lot of stuff of my own that I've been trying to get rid of for years. And there's a flea market not far from where I live that I've gone to sell stuff. Because I live in an apartment, not like I can really have a garage sale here. So once in a great while, I haven't done it this year yet, but once in a great while, in the last couple years, I have gone out to the flea market to sell stuff. And most people just kind of glance at my table and walk by and don't buy anything, whatever. And, you know, maybe it's something that they're looking for. And so you haul all the stuff and you set it all up and you got it all priced and everything. And then you got to haul it all back home and pack it up and haul it back home and stuff. And then it just sits there. You know, yeah, I could donate it to Goodwill or whatever, but then I'm not making any money. And as you guys know, I often talk about how much debt I'm still trying to pay off from my medical bills in the last couple of years. And one thing I do want to say is I don't talk about it that much at all, really, but I live in pain pretty much every day. And a few weeks ago, I ended up having to get a tooth pulled because the tooth was sensitive to cold. And so I chose to have this tooth pulled. It was my molar on my upper right side. And when I went into the dentist, which I hadn't been to in a couple of years, they had to saw through the tooth. And it sounds painful, but I did have, you know, a shot put in there. I may have talked about this in a previous video. But ever since I got that tooth pulled, I can now eat and drink things that are cold, which is helpful because then it doesn't hurt so much. But I do still have sensitivity in my mouth now. And I'm still dealing with the pain in both of my ankles. I'm still dealing a little bit with the pain in my shoulder. My hand, not so much. That pretty much got taken care of. But now my knees are starting to act up because years ago when I went to a school that is now called Brown College in Minneapolis. It used to be called Brown Institute for TV, radio, broadcasting. I was walking down the hall and all of a sudden my knee gave out and I fell to the floor. And so I've got bad knees, and I did do physical therapy back then for the one knee, but then it kind of transferred to the other knee. And when the temperatures start to change, that my knees tend to get to the point where I know that eventually it's going to go out. So I do have like a sleeve that I can put on my knee. It's like a compression thing for my knee. So I did wear that yesterday. But that's been, you know, because the temperatures went from like 90s down to 80s and 70s and stuff. And it is getting into fall pretty soon. So I have to look to that, usually spring and fall are the worst times for my knees, and now with my ankles. And because of my job, my back is hurting, my shoulders are hurting, and I don't want this to be some kind of pity party or anything, but I'm just letting you guys know that I live in pain pretty much every day. I just don't talk about it, because everybody lives in pain when they get to be my age, or maybe a little bit younger, more so that when you get a little older. Which brings me back to the school thing. You want to be the cool person, but then when you reach a certain age, that doesn't matter so much anymore. It doesn't matter what you look like. You don't have to look like a model in a magazine or whatever. You don't have to look perfect. People should accept you for who you are, not how you look. That's just the outside package, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, getting back to the hour plan. I've got my notebook, got my pen, and so there's stuff that I want to do in the next month or so. I do have a vacation that I've planned coming up, just to take some time off. Staycation, they call it, I guess. And there's certain things that I want to do. Now, every so often I do write down a list of goals that I want to complete, but I don't put a date on them. That way I don't feel like I'm pressured to do these things at a certain point. So the first thing I want to do is to organize my boxes, organize my apartment, I should say, because I have boxes everywhere. Organize my apartment. Then I want to keep up with my checkbook. Most of you younger people don't know what a checkbook is. But us older people have checkbooks. So I want to keep up with my checkbook. I want to start, my goal to pay off all my debts is December 18th. So that is the one thing that I do have a goal date on, because my original goal date already expired. So I'm continuing to pay, I'm trying to pay 2 bills a week with my paychecks, because I do get paid weekly. So I try to pay down two bills a week with a certain amount of money. And when I figured it out, December 18th is the date that I figured I should have all of that paid off, or most of it paid off. So I want to keep that going. So keep up with bill payment. And you guys can do this with your lives too. I do cross-stitching when I feel like it, when the cross-stitch bug hits me. So I want to try and get some of these projects done. Cross-stitch projects. I don't know if I've ever showed you some of the stuff that I've actually completed. I might show that to you in my next video, because my battery is already starting to die a little bit. I thought I had it fully charged, but apparently not. I know I haven't been talking that long. So I want to start finishing up some of these cross-stitch projects that I started that I never completed. What else do I want to do? I want to start researching tours for Ireland. I would like to make it a plan to go there next year, but it may not be until 2028 that I make it out there. But if I can get these bills paid down, something I'm going to put as like a sub-subject underneath this is to get a passport, which also costs money. So that'll be something that I would have to act on after the first of the year, provided I can get my bills paid off in December. I mean, that seems like a lot of stuff to do. So obviously getting a passport won't take an hour, and I'd have to wait until next year to do that. So some of this can go on my hour plan, some of this can go on my goal sheet. But to explain the hour plan is you make a list of things that you want to get completed in a day, or maybe do it for like a week or something like that, or a weekend or a day, however long you want. There's no set time. I'm sorry, am I telling you guys what to do? No, this is just my thoughts. If you guys want to incorporate that into your lives, you guys can. I'm not making you do anything. But what you do is you start out your day and you decide, okay, the first thing on my list is to organize my apartment. So then what I'll do, and I'm going to do this in a couple weeks when I have my vacation, so then I have a lot more time to worry about it, is you set a timer for an hour and you start working on just that one task. And then when your timer goes off, maybe do something fun, like go out and take a walk, or play a game, or read a book, or watch videos, whatever. Do something fun for a little while. And then you set your timer for another hour and do another task on your list and do that for an hour. And then do something fun for a little bit, and then come back to your list and say, okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is this task, and I'm going to set my timer for an hour and only work on that task for an hour. Now, if that means that you have to make yourself unavailable by phone, then set your phone to do not disturb during that hour, so that if anybody tries to call you, they won't get through, because you will not hear the phone ring. They'll hear the phone ring, they'll leave a voicemail. Get back to it after your task is done. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but that's just my thinking. So that's what I call the hour plan. So you work on a task for an hour and then take a little break and do something else, and then work on another task for an hour and take another break, And you'll find that when you do something like that, especially if you're somebody who can multitask, and like say for mine, the first one on my list is organize my apartment. So let's say I start in my living room and I start putting something away, and then like I put it away in my bedroom, and then I see stuff in my bedroom, then I'll start working on stuff in my bed. No, you can't do that. You have to stay focused on what you're doing. So then the next time that task comes around, then you can say, okay, for another hour, now I'm going to work on organizing my bedroom, and only stay in your bedroom unless you want to put something away in another room, but then go back to your bedroom, or the kitchen, or the living room, or the den, or whatever you happen to have in your house, your bathroom, whatever. So I have a hard time with that, because I'll put something away in another room and I'll see a mess, and I'll either get overwhelmed, like, God, I got so much to do and I just don't feel like doing it, Now I'm taking myself away from this room, and now I got to feel like I got to clean this room. No, you have to, and when I'm saying you, I'm kind of talking to myself here. You have to focus on just the task at hand and the room at hand. If you're talking about organizing your home, or in my case, my apartment, just work on one room at a time, one task at a time. And once you start doing that and it becomes routine, then it gets easier. And then once that's done, then you can kind of, if you're overwhelmed with stuff, like I have a friend that recently moved into an apartment, and even though I moved into this place 4 years ago, I still have stuff in boxes that I've never gone through. And I've been here for like 4 years. And so that's part of organize my apartment. That means going through the boxes that I have and getting rid of stuff that I don't need. So that's kind of my hour plan. And then if you want to get rid of stuff, if you live in a house and you can have a garage sale, consider doing a garage sale. I know those are a lot of work, but it can get rid of your stuff, and it can give you some extra money in your pocket, and then when the garage sale's over, then you can donate your stuff or whatever. Or hold on to it and then have another garage sale like in another month or something to try to get rid of more stuff. So now that my battery is down to like half life, I know I've not been talking for an hour. I know that for a fact. I thought that I had totally charged my battery, but apparently I didn't. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. It's a little bit short of a video, but I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys today about the hour plan that I am going to do in a couple weeks. Oh, I know one more thing I want to put on my list. Make videos during that week. And then I can tell you how my hour plan is going. And talk about other things like my family tree that I went up to St. Cloud yesterday to look at some, maybe getting some answers for my father's side of the family, which unfortunately I did not get the answers I was looking for, but I did find out some other interesting facts of information that I had no clue about. So I can maybe incorporate that into a different video. That kind of goes along with my Who Am I series. And maybe what I'll do is I'll think of other places that I can go to do some more Adventures with Chloe videos that I don't do that often anymore. But to go to some of these places, I need to bring somebody with me for protection, because one of the places I want to go to is near downtown Minneapolis, and it's not exactly in the safest area, in my opinion. So I would want to bring some protection with me. So I would definitely have somebody else with me during that time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe you guys can incorporate the hour plan into your lives, and you can find out exactly how much you can accomplish by using the hour plan. So life isn't always about just working. You know, you got to have some pleasure too. And granted, the hour plan can be a little bit of work, especially with me cleaning up all my boxes and stuff. I'm looking around. I got 2 boxes over here, or 2 totes and a box over here. I've got a few boxes over here. Those are mostly my parents' stuff. And then I got a bunch of boxes in my front closet. I got a bunch of boxes in my bedroom closet that I just need to go through and get rid of stuff, and then consider maybe selling at the flea market, which is only on Sundays from like 6 a.m. to noon. I wouldn't go out there that early at 6 o'clock, but you know, I could go out there for a few hours to try and sell some more stuff and make some more money, although it does cost like $20 for one slot. So you want to make at least 20 bucks to break even. But if you think about it, the more stuff somebody else buys, the less you have to tote home, and the more money you have in your pocket that you didn't have that morning. That's how I look at it. So you can't look at it negatively, that, oh, I didn't make that much money today. But you know, even if you make, say, 25 bucks, that's 25 bucks you didn't have in your pocket to begin with. And granted, yeah, if you make $25 and you're spending $20 on the slot, you're only really making $5, but that's still $5 more than you had in your pocket that morning. May not be much, but it's something. So obviously not even a gallon. It would barely fill your car a gallon of gas. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now. This would be a good time to shut up. Okay. So thanks for joining me today. Hope you guys incorporate the hour plan. Leave your comments below on what you think about it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a sunny day.